Hello and welcome to episode 139 of Checkpoint Chat. My name is Alessandro Barbosa, and as always, I'm joined by Matthew Figuera.
Me on a Good Friday for a change. A Good Friday.
One might say it is a Good Friday.
Filled with some technical issues. Some might also say, as usual. You know,
of course. I mean, it wouldn't be an Easter without some technical issues.
Without the Easter bunny.
Jesus had some technical issues coming back to life, you know.
It was a reboot time 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure he planned it for just one day. But then, he ran into some issues. He wanted to make as grand an entrance as possible.
Oh, my God.
And, it's sometimes you just got to delay things a few days.
Fortunately,
this podcast isn't delayed. It's on a Monday, but it's been recorded earlier.
Is it coming out on the Monday? We're going to put it on the public holiday?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it'll come out Tuesday. I don't know. Whenever you're listening to this, that's when we decided.
Unless,
so just know that's what happened.
But yeah, well, it's Friday. We've had some tech issues, but we're recording semi-early-ish to go off and enjoy the long weekend. How nice!
Very excited.
Much needed long weekend.
I was saying on Twitter yesterday, having a 4-day weekend feels like winning the lottery. I cannot tell you how excited I am just to have a 4-day weekend. Oh,
although
the thing is, it's lined up also nicely this year because it's like we have the string of 4-day weeks. I think the next 5-day week is only 2 weeks away, and that's gonna hurt. As soon as we go back to a 5-day week. Oh.
We still no, but so you say that, but this year's actually pretty bad in the way public holidays fall. When is it? The 27th of April
is on a Tuesday.
But then we missed the one on the 1st of May, which is on a Saturday. Sadly.
Yep.
But then
unfortunately,
the worst is at the end of the year is that Christmas falls on a Saturday. And so
that means New Year falls on a Saturday as well.
Saturday, which means you're going to go back to work on the 3rd, which is the Monday.
That is
just straight
crap.
Up. Yeah, it's.
I guess that happens once every 5
or 6
7 years. Yeah, whatever. That's a crap one. Ugh.
Yeah, but you know what? We're enjoying the holidays now. That's fine.
Yeah, I did the. Well, I don't know if it's a smart thing, but I took my birthday off. Which was the 23rd, is on a Friday. And then I took that Monday the 26th off. So I have a nice 5-day
long weekend. That is the life. Can I tell you that I think it should be standard practice to have your birthday off.
It should be a company thing. I don't
know. I can't for the life remember what the company's name is, but there is a company, an agency that gives people their birthday off as an extra bonus day, which is really nice. But I think
that's cool. Yeah,
I know that last year we were still my birthday's in May, so it was still locked down. We're all chilling at home, wondering what's happening with the corona. I had to work on that. I was I should have just taken today off. I remember regretting going damn it, why did I do this to myself? Should have taken it off.
Working,
so you're doing the right
on
thing.
Your birthday absolutely sucks.
Yeah.
I at first, I grew up when I was in school. I always had my birthday was on holidays because it was April holidays.
You never got
and
cake.
Then it was only at varsity where I was oh God, I'm at varsity on my birthday and this sucks. And then I made a pledge to myself that I would take my birthday off because working on your birthday is just the worst.
It's the worst, yeah. So happy birthday to you in a few weeks, and we're kicking off the series of long weekends, which is a good time.
April's always a good month for long weekends. I love April, and then it's gonna be May. As good old Justin Timberlake.
My God, and then we have. Then it's a couple more public holidays, and then we'd have none.
What's the date of your birthday?
I think it's on a Wednesday this year. It's a Tuesday or
No,
Wednesday?
I mean the actual date.
Oh, 26th of May.
26th. Oh, okay, so it's still quite far.
Amazing. Yeah.
I've already organized a birthday present for you.
Well,
They've even told
this is
Lenska.
terrible.
Now you have to live in suspense.
Oh my God, for the next few months. And I've
I
got less
love
time to organize you a birthday present.
I love doing this to Shani because she hates surprises, but I love making her like guess. So
Oh
I
my
always
God.
tell her about surprises purposefully
No,
so that
that's
she knows
awful.
about it. I know it feels like emotional torture, but it brings me a lot of joy.
It brings you so much. See, I like the idea of surprising someone, but I don't hold it over them. It's a thing of like, I plan something out and then on the day I go surprise. Not
Oh,
hey,
like when you went with Lenska to Portugal.
not yeah that.
That was a good surprise.
My God, that was amazing. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I like when Shani's watching a series that I've seen and I'm like, something's gonna happen soon. And she's like, tell me. And I'm like, "No."
Someone's gonna die. Who?
And
Don't know.
she spoils things for herself. She'll like we'll be watching a season of MasterChef and she'll like Google who wins. And I'm
No,
like,
why would you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
I hate that.
So we're on like the two very opposite ends of the scale.
I cannot watch a show simultaneously with my in-laws if they're ahead of me. Because,
Oh no, I can't do that. No.
Because they not on purpose, but they just like, oh, have you seen the episode where? And it's like,
God.
No,
Yeah.
no, I haven't.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Thanks a lot. It's fun.
No, God. I can't do it. And especially when it comes to like, I mean, I don't watch a lot of reality TV, but if it's, I like watching cooking game shows or whatever.
Yeah.
And if I know the winner, I might as well just not watch. Like,
yeah, because there's no suspense. You're like, oh, Andy's in the final with Tabitha, and you're like, oh,
with Tabitha.
I know Andy wins.
And Tabitha.
So I guess you know how this is going.
I love that you went to. I mean, I don't know where you got Andy and Tabitha, but that's
I don't know,
good pairing of names. I mean, you wrote a book, or did you finish your book?
I finished it. I've got a finished book, but I want to revisit it and edit and add to it. But yes, I do have a.
Did you struggle coming up with character names?
Coming up with character names is the worst thing. Can I tell you?
I can imagine,
because it's a thing of like, think of any famous character name, and probably at the time they meant nothing, but Frodo Baggins has a ring to it. Okay, Harry Potter, like all these iconic names you just know. I can tell you those people probably sat and agonized for a long time going,
Probably, yeah. No, and even then they were probably like super unhappy with the name, and then it's just it becomes like a catchy thing.
Yeah,
yeah. But I think that's one of the hardest parts of like creative writing is names, because your name has to like kind of reflect the character, and I mean it doesn't have to tie back to any sort of backstory. Like, what does Harry Potter have to do with his eventual character arc? But it's still like you said, it's an iconic thing.
Does his family do pottery? No, they don't.
Maybe they did with magic, Maybe if they weren't as preoccupied as making fancy pots with their magic, they would have seen Voldemort coming.
Oh my God. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
I can tell you my book does not have a character named Tabitha or Andy.
Oh damn it! You see, I thought you were just like
Tabitha. I was just pulling
dropping
from
hints.
No, it did not happen.
What? Give me one character name from your book.
Freya.
Freya, I like that name. Like from God of War, Freya.
Well, it was written before God of War, but yeah, Freya is just a name I've always liked.
No, you just plagiarized.
I actually like it. So the first time I heard the name Freya was from Final Fantasy IX. Okay. And I just really liked it. And then God of War came and stole it from.
Are you saying Norse mythology plagiarized you?
Dude, they 100% plagiarized me. I was born first.
What fucking assholes! They cannot believe.
I can't believe they existed.
I'm gonna phone Corey Barlog right now and be like,
"Dude, you've got a lawsuit coming."
Yeah, you've been served, asshole. Get ready.
My God, but it's funny because Freya is a name that's like, I don't think many people like. It wasn't really on the radar. But now with God of War and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's very much people like, oh, Freya. Like, no, stay away. It's my name.
I mean, it's just like me. I had this great name for a character in a book. His name was Zeus, And then this fucking
And
game
then I
Hades comes
can't
out.
believe it.
And
They just stole
cannot
my
believe they
name.
just stole it, man.
Can you believe
Even
this?
I had this whole collection. I had Ares, I had Hades,
Dude,
and then
they
this fucking game
plagiarized your
comes
whole
out.
list.
Unbelievable. Never going to tweet out my ideas on Twitter again.
Well, speaking of names, the one thing that blew my mind was, I think, is it Heracles? Hercules?
Like Hercules?
No, so I don't know how I've stumbled onto this nugget of information, but Hercules is the Roman name for Heracles. So think about
The Roman name.
Well, are you frozen?
No.
No, you came back. It's weird. You froze on my side. So if you think of the Disney film Hercules, okay, based on Greek mythology, it's not. In Greek mythologies, the dude's name is Heracles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your mind's just been blown as well. Go look it up.
But that's weird because like even in like God of War games, they call him Hercules.
Hercules, yeah, it's not. That's the Roman version of that name.
Why would the Romans have a name for a Greek god?
No, so
That's
apparently
so
I put this on Reddit and it blew. So there's a subreddit called Today I Learned, and it's the thing where you put you put seemingly obvious things that some people be like, how did you not know that? Or like, oh my God, I didn't know that either. So I put that on there, and a lot of people are like, how did you not know this? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I live in South Africa. Greek history is not really like
blame it on being in Africa.
No, but my touch points with Greek mythology is like there's the Disney film and there's like some games I've played and it's always been Hercules. It's never been Heracles, and that's some people took like personal offense, like to the point
like how dare you never visit Greece ever in your life.
No, but apparently the reason that is because I think the Romans came and like took over Greece in history, and they obviously just
that makes sense.
They stole their law, like Cory Barlog stole my name. So we've come full circle now.
That's just like all of history. I mean, you
appropriated their gods.
You never played Assassin's Creed Origins, did you?
No.
Yeah, so there I learned like a lot of I didn't realize how intertwined like Egyptian and Greek history were until playing that game. I mean Roman and Egyptian history, because you see like Caesar and all of that and like the final days of the Egyptian empires, and it's like kind of weird to see how a lot of it overlaps with other history that you've learned.
It's actually interesting because I read Asterix comics when I was a kid, like a lot.
Asterix and Obelix.
And you don't think about it when you're a kid, but yeah, there was Cleopatra and Caesar, which was the Romans and the Egyptians.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's like what's bizarre, what threw me in the game was you think of like, okay, so the Egyptian Empire and the Roman Empire were at the same period, but at that time in Egyptian history, it's said a lot in the games, like the Egyptians then consider the pharaohs that we think about, at the height of like Egyptian, they think of them as old gods because it happened like thousands of years ago. So that Egyptian like empire has spanned like hundreds of years to the point where they like, they consider these old rulers of their lands like deities. So it just shows you how like fucking long history is really, if anything.
It really is super long. But yeah, that's
this checkpoint chat today. We talk about Egyptian history, Roman rulers, and video games.
Sometimes we talk about video games. Yeah,
I mean sometimes. We try keep things light. We just talk about politics and Mario's death, and then every now and then
Mario died.
Mario died on March 31st. Mario died officially. Nintendo can never make another Mario game ever again.
My goodness,
that's just the rules. Fact. I mean, we didn't make the rules. They imposed this on themselves. They didn't have to kill Mario. They chose to.
Isn't it a weird coincidence that a few years ago a man named Doug Bowser takes over Nintendo, and now coincidentally Mario's dead.
He's dead. Mario's dead.
How's no one putting
dead.
this together?
And now, maybe we're just going to get a new string of Bowser games. I mean, we already got a game called Bowser's Fury, so it's happening.
We did. That's true. My God,
yeah. It's this really sneaky undermining by Doug Bowser.
Hilarious.
And it's happening right under our noses. He's redefining Nintendo history.
I can't believe this.
And we are supporting this. Look how look how like amped people were, with Mario dying. I mean, they wanted to buy the game, but no one was sad that Mario was dead. They were more like laughing at it.
Rip the red plumber.
I mean, we make a joke, but there was a CNN article, a
What,
very
really?
serious, straight-faced article about like, is Mario dying? Is Nintendo? They clearly, it went woof, just like whoever wrote that was like super not in the know of what was going on.
Hilarious. My God, I need to go look that up.
Oh, it was very funny.
Shit.
And was before April Fool's, so very funny. Yeah.
You shared a thing yesterday where it was Teletubbies saying they're going to cryptocurrency. And honest to God, like, it's funny how, with me specifically, like, I know it's April 1st, but I still read that. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe they're doing this. And then like 2 seconds later, I'm like, oh.
Exactly. No, but even then I was like, I even knew. I was like, it is definitely April Fool's. But I'm like, I don't know, because they were teasing it the day before as well. So I'm like, is this real?
This
like,
is happening.
I don't know anymore. Like, I can't tell.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some shit that came out yesterday. I mean, Funko chose yesterday of all days to buy a company that sells NFTs, also cryptocurrency stuff. And so they're going to be selling NFTs with their Funko Pops in June. And we had to like really sit down and consider if this was a joke or not, because it was like on their investor page, it was on a newswire. We looked up like SEC filings just in case. And eventually someone was like, they clearly cannot joke about something that will affect their stock price like this, because that would likely be illegal. So we ended up running with it. And it seems it's true. It's not a joke. But it's like, yeah,
that's insane.
Fucking April Fools, man. The line between reality and parody is so blurred right now.
It's getting very blurred, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that's not a joke is games. They are very serious.
I don't know. Sometimes. Games are a joke. Like you very quickly, what is a joke is playing a single player game and having to be connected to the internet constantly. That's a real joke.
Oh my!
Just
is that how we're getting in?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I planned to talk a little bit about it because I got to play a little bit yesterday at launch. Well, very little bit. We never played the demo because like who has the time?
No one.
But we got code on PlayStation, so I booted it up. I played roughly about 15-20 minutes, not even. I don't think I got to do the shooting tutorial. That's it.
And what do you think of the game? How did it?
It feels a lot like Gears of War so far. So that's cool. I'm down with it. I haven't even been able to choose my class yet. And then I got disconnected from the game servers, so it booted me all the way to the main menu, and then I couldn't connect. So I was like, well, fuck this. Then I'm not going to play. So Outriders, a game that is very, very, I mean, the marketing has been very forthcoming with like, this is not a live service game. They are trying to say like, we are a Borderlands. We have loot and we have a structure similar to Destiny, but we are definitely not a live game. But then I need to be connected to the internet even to play single player. So I'm just like, you know what?
Can you just not play without an internet connection at all?
Nope.
My God.
So it is Destiny. Like,
yeah.
Destiny, I can understand because it's live service. So all my shit is stored in the cloud,
Yeah.
Whatever. But even Marvel's Avengers, which isn't live service, I can play offline.
Yeah.
Like I can play the single player offline. Like, come on. What's going on here? Outriders. You know what I think it is?
Weird.
I think it started out as a live service. I mean, I have no knowledge of this to say for certain, but when you think about Square Enix and the response to Avengers, I could easily see like Outriders having been a live service game and them going, okay, whoa, let's maybe move away from the marketing of it being live service and try, angle it as this is a co-op loot shooter. Yeah.
Except it's still an online service.
Except we built this thing from the ground up as a live service game. We can't just rip this shit out. Like, it's not a switch we turn on and off. So
it's not a Nintendo Switch, You gotta
no. Game's also not on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, no. Unfortunately. It does run really well on PS5.
So,
at least.
I wanted
it's like
to ask,
60 frames.
Is it a PS5 release? It's not like you've got code for the PS4 that you're now playing on the PS5.
No, so it is on PS4 as well, but it is a PS5
Okay,
native
you've got
release. Yeah, so
Okay.
it is one that needs to go on that internal hard drive. You know what I mean?
Oh, for them
Um,
speedy load times.
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Uh, well, I mean, the load time is also determined by it connecting to a fucking server. So,
kind
there's
of
only
hard
so
drive's
much you
not
can
gonna fix
do.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, only so much you can do there. But yeah, it runs well. The setting is like, I don't know, Earth is like gone. I don't know if there was like a war there
Rip.
but basically these like two arcs of humans departed there and have arrived at another planet like 80 years later.
Jeez,
And they haven't
that's
heard
quite a
from
time.
Earth in like 60 years or something like that. So, I mean, this is all based off what I've gleaned from the first 15 minutes. And
Yeah.
so now
You're giving
you're
us your full
exploring this new
review.
planet and trying to figure out if this is a place where all these people on this ark can kind of set up shop and live, and you are called an outrider because
I
I
see
don't know.
I see what they did there. Because
Shocker,
you go
right?
out and you ride away from the arc.
I haven't ridden anything yet.
Nice.
Would be great. But yeah, I mean, I want to play more, but I'm not.
Yeah.
It was midnight. I'm not going to sit there fucking looking at a did not connect to
Connecting
server
thing.
screen for half
That's
an hour. I was just like,
and
whatever,
that's
I'm
also
down.
probably I mean, it launched yesterday, so it's probably the the influx of
Yeah.
players. I mean, look, I know they should be prepared for that, but I don't know. It's often happens on day one. Things are unexpected, so maybe you'll have more luck
Yeah,
today.
I don't blame them for launch. I just found it annoying that like
Annoying,
I was
yeah.
playing alone and I was like, why can I not just fucking play alone?
Yeah.
If I was playing with other people, then sure. But hey, they got. I think it was on PC where the game isn't free on Game Pass. Its peak player numbers were like 3 times that of Avengers, like
Which is
best peak ever, which is
that
very
blows
surprising to
that
me.
blows my
Yeah.
mind, like legitimately, because I think although maybe I think people were cautious of Avengers anyway, but I
Mm.
just thought in the name itself, the fact that it's like Marvel's
Yeah, it's a
Avengers,
Marvel
it's a
game.
Marvel
Yeah.
game. You appealing to you've got the hardcore audience and like the casual audience, even people who aren't necessarily gamers who are like, I'm gonna pick up this game and play it. And
Yeah.
Outriders, which to me, so this is my completely my perception. I can't tell you that I've been excited for Outriders. Like I think I watched the first trailer. I was like, oh, that seems like a cool premise. Like Square Enix making a third person like looter shooter, whatever.
Mhm.
But beyond that, I've not engaged with the game in any way. Like I didn't play the demo, haven't watched any dev diaries or gameplay footage, whatever. So to have it launch and be 3 times higher than Avengers, I'm like, whoa.
No, it's crazy.
What
It's
have I missed
absolutely
here?
mental.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I think the demo did a lot of that legwork because they
Mm.
launched the demo like about a month ago
It was a
now,
while ago, yeah.
and they've been like updating that demo. Like I've seen news articles, I think like 3 or 4 like patch notes for a demo, and I'm like, that is crazy.
That's crazy, yeah. You're
But I
doing
mean,
an
if
actual
if it's the way to market your game, I guess that makes sense. So
I would love to see the rise of demos. Look, games have demos, but like back in the day, it was a thing. Like every game, it felt like had some sort of demo. You bought
mm,
NAG, you got your disc full of all the good demos,
what
and
a
it
great
feels like,
time, hey! What a great time.
yeah, and it feels like today that there are demos, but there aren't demos for every game. Like definitely not.
Well,
I think
if
it.
you want to put in the work, Steam's entire library is demos because you can
Oh yeah,
refund
that's
up to
fair.
2 hours. Yeah.
But I mean, but the thing is like that you can only really play on launch. I'm talking like leading
Yeah.
up to a game, that sort of thing. So like I feel that Nintendo's a good example of like I've played a handful of demos on my Switch, like from um what's the Zelda smashy game where you fight millions of enemies, Calamity, Age of Calamity.
Oh, Age of Calamity.
That
Yeah.
had a demo. Monster
The
Hunter had a
Zelda
demo.
Smashy game.
Yeah, I could not for the life
Put
of me
that on the
remember what it was.
box.
But and it's like it just gives you an opportunity to just engage with the game, like even a little. And I mean, I've played a lot more demos over the past year or two than I have in a long time. Like I think Capcom's really good at that as well with Resident Evil.
Yeah, they have been. I
Um,
mean, they even putting out. I mean, they put out that one for Resident Evil 8, and they said they're putting out another one before launch. So,
but what's interesting about their demos is that it's like it's not at all. It's not like here's the first 10 minutes of the game. It's like here's this is canon. It happens in the game, but you're playing some random segments, and it's just an excuse to look at the engine, see how the game feels. That's cool because I think that builds interest and hype for the game.
Oh, even for Resident Evil 2 remake, it was like a
Oh, it's
it was a
the
very
10-minute demo.
specific
Yeah.
like slice of the
Yeah.
game, and even the structure of that
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
the
super
same in the
quick.
final game. Yeah, it was like you had access to areas and things that you wouldn't have at that point, but it gave you an idea of yeah. I mean, that takes extra work, but
I
if
think
it
it
gets
helps.
people
Yeah.
talking about your game, you've got to weigh up, well, how much will that work cost versus a marketing campaign that maybe won't work. You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
I think in the case of Outriders, given that it's a brand new IP and people don't really know anything about it, it's like a demo probably did it huge favors because people are like, oh, I can try it. Why not? Oh, I really like this.
100%,
Let me
yeah.
order it. So
And like you said, from the gameplay marketing that you had seen prior, you're like, okay, this is a
it's
shooter, whatever. But I definitely feel the same that the game never reached a sort of um like strong zeitgeist interest
no,
until
like
the
not at
last
all.
month when the demo
Yeah.
came out. There was at first it felt like, oh man, this game's bad, and then there was just the sudden swing of like, yeah, I'll play this at launch, and especially when it got
That's on
announced for
Game
Game
Pass.
Pass,
Yeah. Everyone's like,
everyone was like,
yeah, I'll
well,
definitely
now I'll
play
try it.
this.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah, we
cool.
cannot discount that Game Pass also has, I mean, look, it's I'd say Game Pass is the reason, but we're talking Steam here.
Yeah,
So
if it was on Game Pass on PC and these were the numbers, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense because it's
yeah.
it's very little cost. But I mean, it wasn't. I would love to see the Xbox numbers. If that was the numbers on PC, that is crazy
It's
to me.
crazy, yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah,
Outriders.
I guess I'll talk more about Outriders next week when I've actually got to play like more than fucking 15
Played some
minutes of it.
stuff.
So
But yeah,
what we have both been playing,
a lot of, my
if you've been
goodness.
keeping up to date with Matthew's streams, twitch.tv/hairy knees.
Yes. Nice,
Um,
nice.
We've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter
Monster
Rise.
Hunter.
Matthew literally 3 times more than me, but
This
I've been playing
game,
quite a bit
let me
as
tell
well.
you, I play a lot of games, but I often
You
bounce
do?
between games, and like for me to ramp up, say like on an average week, I'll maybe put like 10 hours into a single player game. Okay.
Mm.
I've put 30 hours into Monster Hunter.
That's crazy considering it came out a week ago.
It's not even
So
a week ago. I mean, okay, it launched a week ago, yes, but like
it's like a literal
I
day and a
didn't play
half
it.
of just gameplay.
Yeah,
Like you've somehow managed.
which
Yeah.
is insane. And yeah, I've really, really been enjoying this game. I mean, I think you and I, we both new to the franchise. There's definitely, I think if it'll be day and night, the conversation we have today compared to last week, because
Yes.
last week we did say like, yeah, like we're enjoying the game, but there's a lot to learn. Like we're just getting fed so many tutorial windows, and we don't really get the systems. And look, 30 hours later, there's still a lot I need to learn, but I can tell you I've got the fundamentals down, and like the game has clicked for me, and man, I get it now. Like, some of my biggest gripes with Monster Hunter were things like I don't know, it feels very slow. Like it's not, I can't just run in and like bash my buttons and roll away or whatever. It's a thing of like, no, you have to, pull your weapon out, walk towards the monster, get an attack in. Oh no, maybe sheath my weapon, run away. And like, that's not a way I'm used to playing. Now I get it though. I'm like, of course I have to do that. That I've got to be prepared and I've got to be methodical, take my time. And it's real addictive. Yeah, that's my spiel.
It's a really good game.
Yeah.
I think I was telling you yesterday, this is sort of the loop that if you had gotten into something like a Destiny, it feels very similar to that loop. Like you've got a set number of events, and you are just grinding out because you want this piece of gear or that piece of gear. And yeah, I think what I like about it most is that it's very well suited to the Switch itself. It feels very bite-sized.
Yeah,
Like
definitely
each of the hunts is limited to 50 minutes, but I usually finish them within half that time. So it feels like I can do 1 or 2 hunts and then put the Switch down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very low maintenance in that regard, and I'm just having a lot of fun with it as well. I Last night was the first time I played with other players. We
Mm.
played some hub hunts with you and Best Bash and Frank, and man, like, firstly, kudos to the Switch for keeping up with what the
Yeah.
hell's going on screen.
Because
Because
there's a lot
I
going
mean,
on that
I thought
screen.
it was impressive in single player,
Mm.
but when it's 4 people wailing on a monster and there's just particle effects
And there's
going,
no slowdown. Like there's no
yeah.
lag or
I
anything.
mean, the game runs at 30 frames, fine, but
Mm.
it's pretty fucking rock solid at 30 frames per second. Like,
Yeah.
I was really surprised at how, and some of the attacks that were going off, like the that purple electricity alpha effect that was like flying all over all the time, and the monsters attacking, and then on top of it, just like, you think about computationally, like, a lot's happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's getting other monsters from the map to come and join the fight, and it's dealing with
Yeah.
their AI at the same time. It's like there's a lot happening on the screen at once.
Mm.
And when you compare that to something like the Muso games,
Yeah.
which have drastic slowdown when you start fighting a lot of enemies, like Monster Hunter
Mm.
shows how it's done.
Yeah. And the online works. Like, sorry, I went in thinking, oh God, it's Nintendo Online. Like, let's just think
And
of
it's
Animal
Capcom,
Crossing, for example. Like,
yeah.
getting online is such a mission, and it works, but it's like very subpar experience. So to get into Monster Hunter, where it's like, well, you all fighting a monster, and you kind of have to not have delay because you want to roll out the way and get your attacks in, and it doesn't feel like there's any lag, so to speak. Like, I can't tell you that I feel any sort of delay, and I don't know if that's because like one of us is hosting, or but I don't even think it is that, because even it's happened to me where, and I know this is 100% my internet being the problem, but like if I host and I drop from a hunt, I just get pulled into my own session and I carry on, and then you guys carry on in your own session. So it's like, is it being hosted on a server? Like, I don't quite know what's sorcery.
I have no idea, because I think if we were all connecting to a server in Europe, we
Yeah.
would feel something.
Yeah, 100%.
There's
And
just
you
no
can't
way
tell
we'd
me
feel no lag. Yeah.
you can't tell me Capcom have a South African servers.
No.
I highly doubt it.
So maybe it is peer to peer. I don't
But
know.
there's some
But I mean, we
sorcery,
had
yeah.
the one instance where you dropped yesterday, and then after that we had zero issues for like 3 hours.
But me
So-
dropping, I'm at least 95% certain that's my internet, where it happens every now and then where if I'm on a Teams meeting, for example, just for like 3 seconds, like it'll cut out and then it's back. And I think that's
I'm
just
sure
enough.
that's what you tell your boss. It's fine.
Yeah,
I
just 3
know
seconds.
you're just cutting them out for.
But
you
I mean,
don't want to hear their bullshit.
I know. I'm just gonna go have a 3-second nap quick. But I think that's exactly what's happening in Monster Hunter, where it's a thing of I drop for 3 seconds, whatever, and then it's like,
it's enough to be like, okay, you were
you've
booted.
disconnected, yeah. But what's cool is that it keeps the hunt separate, so I can, if we like nearly done at the hunt, like thank God it's not like error and then boot you back to the main screen.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, if it booted us all to the screen, like the host is left, and then you lose all your rewards, that would be
such a problem.
Incredibly frustrating. Yeah,
but what's cool,
so
like,
I'm glad it doesn't do that.
If it's at the end of a fight, it's like, oh, I'll just finish it myself. It'll be a little bit longer because the monster obviously has a lot more health. But if it's at the beginning, it's like, oh, I'll just drop out of my session and rejoin your guys' session, because you can do that.
Yeah, that's the other cool thing, is you can join hunts in progress. I mean, making it sound like it's some revolutionary thing, but this should be the standard for multiplayer games.
Yeah, it should be.
I'm comparing it to Monster Hunter World, which I didn't play nearly as much of, but the main thing I always heard about that was the multiplayer component is just it was a complete nightmare to actually just even join other players.
My goodness.
So the fact that Rise makes that process firstly easy and lets you just like drop in and drop out of hunts seems really, really cool. So I had a lot of fun with those. So hub hunts are specifically tuned for multiple players. Like the monster has more life, will be a bit more challenging, you'll get more rewards, etc., etc. And we were just grinding out some of the early level ones because me and Best and Frank hadn't leveled up. You were already on level 3. And they definitely slogs. Like I can get why people come to Monster Hunter and go, oh, I don't like the combat because I'm just mashing buttons or doing the same combos, and
Mm,
it's just a bullet sponge enemy. You
yeah,
know what I mean? But I don't know. There's something fun about switching up weapons between hunts,
yeah,
and even though the combos themselves are limited, like pulling them off still feels fun.
yeah, because they're
And
not necessarily easy to pull off.
no, not at
Yeah.
all. I mean, there takes like some expertise to pull. Like I
Mm,
started the night using the lance, and I realized that with the chaos and the speed of the monsters we were fighting, I just wasn't being effective with the speed of that weapon.
yeah,
So like changed up, and then I could, actually get off some hits. So the fact that it gets you thinking about your effectiveness during a hunt is
yeah,
cool. I think that's really fun, and I think my favorite part is the most dynamic, like the dynamic structure of the hubs where you hunt. Like we can be
yeah.
fighting a monster, and then suddenly this other big monster arrives, and then suddenly two players are riding both monsters and forcing them to fight each
Having
other. It's
Mortal
like
Kombat, yeah, it's
it
great.
changes the whole dynamic of the fight. And then maybe our target runs away, so we're like, okay, well, we're gonna ride this secondary monster, take him to the monster we want to kill, and engage in a fight there again.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool. And those are just like the systems we've engaged with. There's other ways, like you can use items to lure monsters to one another.
Mm. Yeah,
You can
there's a
trap
lot of
monsters.
items
Like
in this
there's
game.
so much you can do.
Mm.
So I feel like even though, I mean, I've only played 11 hours, you've played 30, and even still, you feel like you're still scratching the surface a little
I
bit.
know.
Yeah.
I'm like, we spoke about it yesterday. It's a thing of like, what sort of, because I mean, the loop of Monster Hunter really is, I think you put it perfectly. It's like the monsters go down, your damage numbers go up, and like you rinse and repeat. Like that's really what it is. And it's a thing of like, well, you should be obviously using the parts you get to build better weapons or better gear. And
I
yeah,
absolutely love that my gear looks like the monster I killed.
yeah, but
It gives me a
that's
good sense of satisfaction.
that's the loop, right? It's a thing of like you just gonna get better gear and go fight bigger monsters. But even the level I'm at now, after 30 hours, like I haven't had to dig too deep into like, oh shit, like what build am I going for?
Hmm. Mm.
But I know that as levels get harder and the monsters get harder, it's a thing of I'm gonna have to be like, well, what is this monster weak to? What attacks does it use that I need to protect against? Now I need to start going, maybe I need to build that weapon in that set. Oh, but I need these monster parts to get that. So I'm gonna go grind those out. And that's sort of like the end game stuff that I don't think I've even really reached yet.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I don't know what the highest star rating is, but like I'm
Yeah,
on
I have no idea
5. I'm
actually.
about to on the single player side. I'm on 5. I'm about to unlock 6. Like, does that
I,
go
I have
to
to imagine
7,
it's
8,
10
9? Yeah, I
because
also
there's
think it's 10.
like when you look at the quests and you see the threat level of monsters, it goes up to 10 stars. So I
Mm,
imagine it's 10.
yeah,
Um, but even still on the lower levels, like yesterday when we were preparing for hunts, like all of us were going into the hunter info and looking at like
mm,
what certain monsters are weak against and strong against. And you can definitely, there's a tangible difference when you attack a
mm,
monster with something it is weak
yeah,
to. So yeah, I can see that really influencing end game stuff. I mean, if you look at any game that this is modeled after, you look at Diablo, you look at Destiny, the
yeah.
end game stuff is where your gear really
That's
comes
where you
into
start having to
focus.
like
Yeah.
be finicky. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's funny though because the loop is just that good. It's not funny, but the loop is just that good that you want to go. It's like I need to build this armor set. Oh, I have to go
Mm.
grind out this monster, but it's so much fun fighting that monster that like even me doing those quests with you guys yesterday. I'm like, I've done these quests. I don't care. Like I'm having fun. I'm gonna get these
And you're
parts
getting
anyway.
useful
Yeah.
resources still. Like it doesn't
Mm.
doesn't feel like you're getting nothing out of it. I think
No.
it's balanced so well that after every hunt I can craft at least one thing. So
Mm.
it doesn't feel like a grind in that sense,
No. I mean, we haven't even looked at capturing monsters, which is a whole
Yeah, and that's a
different thing.
whole other thing. Yeah.
Whole different ball
So
game there.
it's great. I
My
mean, it's
God.
definitely dense. There's a lot of things that I'm still not 100% like clear on. Like I'm just learning about how to send buddies out on mercenary hunts. I'm
Mm.
still trying to figure out what the hell that trader does with the buddies, like going out to get specific
Oh
items.
yeah, that's like way over my head. But that's the
Yeah.
thing though. It's like this game. Like I said, so I've played for 30 hours and I understand the fundamentals, but there's a lot of stuff there that I still have no clue how to
Mm.
engage with it properly. Like that, what's that ship? It's like the Origo or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's
Yeah.
like when I put out a Twitter post and a Reddit post before I started playing the game saying like, hey, I'm a newcomer. Like, what tips would you give me, playing this game? And someone said like, don't ignore the trading ship. And I'm like,
Okay.
okay, but I don't get what I'm supposed to be trading for at the moment. Like at my current point in the game, I'm like, I don't know if the ship is that useful to me. Maybe I'm just not using
Mm.
it properly.
And
Not
also, why do I need
properly.
to hire additional buddies to even engage with the ship? Like, I don't
Yeah,
understand.
but I mean, this is stuff that's clearly there for a reason, and I think you and I just haven't really figured it out.
Yeah, I think, I mean, if I think back to my early days with, well, mostly Destiny 2, because I didn't really play a lot of the first one. Like, a lot of it was like that. I recall listening to like Gavin and Darren talk about original Destiny because they played that a lot, and
Mm,
like listening to them talk about it, it just sounded like the most impenetrable nonsense ever.
yeah.
And then, the more you play it, the more things just become like second nature. So now I can
Mm,
talk about, facets of Destiny that might not make sense to you, but I can still listen to someone who has put 10 times more hours into it. And
you get it, yeah.
yeah, I get it, but they also like they understand certain things on another degree that even I don't. So I think there's
Mm,
always those levels to these games that some players will get certain things, and not everything is 100% crucial to your enjoyment of the game.
yeah. Sure. Like it's 30 hours, but it's still early days. There's still a lot for me to do in this game, and I'm looking forward to
Now I can
just
see
sinking
myself
my
playing
teeth
this.
into more multiplayer and more single player stuff.
It honestly it did take time because
Mm. No,
at first
definitely, yeah.
everyone was like, "This is the most accessible Monster Hunter." In the first 2 hours, I was like, "Ooh, again." I was like, "I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
feeling this at all." And then it just clicked. I was like, "Got it!" Like I'm
yeah.
in. You know,
It is, yeah.
and
It is a thing of learning, right?
yeah,
Like you have to learn the systems, and it's a different feeling game. Like if I compare it to
it's
any other,
very different. Yeah,
like I mean, you've mentioned Sekiro because I'm using the longsword, but even like Sekiro or Bloodborne or any, third person RPG or action game, it's like
Sekiro feels like a sprint, and this feels like competitive, like
you
walking.
really
You
have
know,
to competitive walking. Wow, put that on the box. The competitive walking version of Sekiro. Um, yeah, it's a different feeling game, but I think like if you're listening and you're like, I don't know if I'll enjoy this game and
mm,
it's not for me, like granted it might not be.
mm,
There's a demo for that reason. And it's tricky though because the demo doesn't really give you too much other than like here's a few
yeah,
monsters, there's a couple tutorials, go hunt, whatever.
yeah. The demo
Um
really didn't sell me on the game
yeah,
at
because I
all.
played the demo and I was like, I can see myself enjoying this, but I just don't quite get it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if now is it because I've played the main game and I just made an effort to like really work with these systems, or did they just present the game like I think of the early game and there's like some very basic quests that teach you things, but it's not like they don't spoon feed you really. They spoon feed you a
Mm.
lot of text.
Yeah,
Um,
my God, so many tutorials.
but yeah, it's
There needs to
if
be a better way to onboard people, but I don't know how. Like,
I
I think
also
they
have no
did a
idea
good
how.
enough job, but it's still. I think, I mean, it's the nature of the game. It is a dense systems based game, so like,
Mm,
it's very hard to, you have to balance like, how do we get people into the fun stuff quickly, but also not overwhelm them? And I think
yeah.
reading between the lines on people who've played a lot of Monster Hunter, that's something that World did really poorly.
Mm.
Was it front loaded a lot of lore and tutorial stuff, and you only really got a sense of the hunts like a couple of hours in, whereas
Here's like
with
pretty
Rise
early.
you get into the hunts like super quickly.
Yeah.
And I think if that wasn't the case, I think I would have bounced off Rise already.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
I think if you play the game like going knowing that there is an element of there is a learning curve. There is going to
yeah.
be a handful of hours of you going, what the shit is going on here?
Mm.
But if you get past it though, holy hell! And when the game clicks, if it clicks, geez, like it is some real good fun. Like I'm hooked. I'm just keep playing more and more. And like I can completely understand now why like I heard people put hundreds of hours into Monster Hunter World. I'm like, geez, like can it really be that good? To go back and just keep repeating the same fights. And again, this is a honeymoon phase for me, right? First time playing the franchise. It's still, it's new to me.
This is your Animal Crossing
It's
for 2021.
Exactly, yeah. But maybe after like another 30 hours, I'm like, I'm done. Like I'm done with this game.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'm on such a high, and I'm just like, I want to keep playing. I want to keep going and doing hunts. I want to see what other monsters are, because I obviously haven't fought all of them. Like I've fought the exclusive main bad guy that's on the cover, but I know there are others I haven't fought yet. So
now you got to try catch him instead of kill him.
Yeah, got to do that. It's good.
No, it's a great game. It's scratching the right itch right now for me too. And yeah, I'm just having a fantastic time with it, and I can't wait to play more. Can't wait to play more today. Maybe more multiplayer. Definitely happier that I'm playing it on a TV now, because it is so much nicer to play with a Pro controller. Like,
wait, you broke up there. Definitely have to.
Oh no, I'm much happier that I'm playing it on a TV with a Pro controller.
Oh yeah, you can sit
the
back
Pro
and relax
controller
now.
definitely makes a difference.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sure.
Handheld. That game in handheld is fine. Works fine. Just man, my hands cramp up so quickly, like because I'm just doing so much.
I must say on that, like look, maybe it's because I've had to capture footage for it for reasons, but maybe it's definitely the most I've ever played a game in docked on my Switch. Like hands down. Even Breath of the Wild, I played like 20% docked and the rest was all handheld. And it works, like you said, it works on both, but I think docked is the way to play it.
It definitely stresses the Switch, because
that battery life, holy hell!
That's exactly it. So I put it in my dock yesterday, and I think the Switch was at like 40% battery life when we started playing. We played for 30 hours, and when we were done, I went to the home screen. It had only we played for 3 hours. So, and when I went back to the home screen, it had only charged 20%.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that, because I noticed that on my Switch the other day as well, where I was like, hang on, this thing is docked. Did it not charge? Like, maybe it's using power a lot.
Yeah, it's using a lot of power, so it's probably charging like incredibly slowly. Yeah, it is drawing. And when I've been playing handheld, it's lasted a good like 2-3 hours. Like
the sort of last handful of hours.
Yeah, the sort of time that I expect. When the Switch came out and they're like, oh, Zelda only lasts like 2 to 2.5, 3 hours, and everyone's like, wow, that's such garbage. It's like,
can we just remember that you are you're getting a console experience on the go? Like, come on, people.
And if this Switch Pro is real, and it comes out with an OLED screen, that immediately cuts battery life. Cuts down battery consumption quite heavily. So that would be cool.
Interesting.
That would be cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we've been playing this week, and we'll probably continue playing for the foreseeable future. If 2020 was about Nintendo and making friends, 2021 is about hunting down those friends and turning them into weapons.
Good Lord.
Wait until we hunt down Tom Nook.
They should put him as a DLC, not to hunt, just like someone in the village have like, hello, you haven't paid off your loan. Money comes out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the monster voice lines keep talking about insurance, so maybe he'll just rock up there.
It's Tom Nook.
Tom Nook, he's like, listen, I've come to ask for all your premiums on your Monster Hunter weapons.
It's crazy.
And if you don't pay up, I'm killing your Palamute.
I know. Yeah, I will probably talk about it more in the weeks to come, but there's a lot we actually haven't touched on the game, like Palamutes, Palicos, the story, which is actual garbage, sorry to say. But
the story's bad. I mean, the story's just a vessel to get you to more hunts.
Yeah, there's a lot to this game that like we've barely even covered.
But if you want a good beginner's guide, it should be up now. We made a cool video in collaboration with Nintendo South Africa on all the sorts of like hints and tips that we've picked up as newcomers to the series, that might help you get into Monster Hunter or might give you a
And
better idea of what Monster Hunter is.
and we give an overview of Monster Hunter. So I guess it's like it's not really a review video, but it gives you an indication of like what the game is. So
Yes.
if you've listened to this and thought, I still don't know what the game's about, go watch that video. It's 11, 12 minutes, and I think it does a fairly good job
think it
of
encapsulates
covering everything. Yeah.
Yeah. It's on our YouTube channel. I'll link it in the podcast description as well. Matty will maybe put it in the YouTube description.
I will,
but it'll be there. So go check
go
that
watch
out.
it. Cool.
Should we bounce to game releases?
Good Lord. What is coming out this week?
I actually don't know. So we're looking at April. Let's see, April 3rd until April 9th. So let's see.
It's actually not that much.
It's not that much. Ooh, there is one big one that I'm very keen for. So on April 6th, we've got Star Wars Republic Commando re-release coming to PS4 and Switch. This game's cool.
Did you play Republic Commando?
Yeah, it's fun. It is an old shooter by the by today's standards, but I still think it's a really fun game. With a cool story. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't played it before, would recommend. Really, really cool game.
Nice.
This to me is the big one for the week. Oddworld Soulstorm. Holy shit. It's finally coming out. Can you believe it?
And not even just that, it's a PS Plus game, which we'll talk about later.
So it is part of PS Plus this month. So you can grab it on PS5, I think, only for free. But it's out on PC, PS4, and PS5 on April 6th. Super stoked to play this.
I need to go play New and Tasty.
Good game. Really good game. Yeah.
Oh, did you play it?
Mm-hmm. I need to play the remake of the original Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, because I haven't played. Well, why are you saying no? What's going on?
Because every now and then you cut out. You're like,
oh no,
I need to, and I'm like,
well,
what?
at the very least, I've got the recording my side. So
no. So it doesn't make a difference to the recording. But for me, I'm like, what did you say?
So I said I want to play the original remake sometime because I haven't played that, the Abe's Odyssey one.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, so you haven't? Wait, have you played New and Tasty?
Oh wait, New and Tasty is the remake. Sorry, what I was thinking of? I was thinking of that sequel to New, not the sequel to New and Tasty, the sequel to Abe's Odyssey. What's it called?
Abe's Exodus. Soulstorm.
Exodus? No. There was one where Abe has got this other like his sort of race, and a dude's in like a wheelchair. I forget the name of that one.
Munch's Odyssey.
Yes, that's the one.
Munch's Odyssey. Okay, so you played that.
Yes, I played that.
Okay, it's interesting because I've played years ago. I played Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus, and I know New and Tasty is a real good remake of Abe's Odyssey, and now Soulstorm is a remake of Abe's Exodus. But I have not played New and Tasty, so I will grab the game, but I will not play it until I've played New and Tasty.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try New and Tasty first as well.
It's delicious,
and then
good games.
Get on
if
that
you've
Soulstorm.
Never played them, really more like puzzle than actual. Well, there's definitely platforming, but some real tricky gameplay in both games. But it's real good as well.
Yeah, I think it's definitely more a puzzle than anything. I remember playing the original back in the day. And like as a kid, I just had no patience for how slow and weird it was.
Yeah, I still think that this universe, Oddworld, is like one of the most original settings I've ever seen. Like it's just so weird and different, and I really like it.
It's super strange. Yeah, it's very strange. So that's out April 6th. Then also on April 6th, we've got Lost Worlds Beyond the Page. PC, PS4, Xbox One,
Lost Words Beyond the Page.
Lost Words, sorry.
They escaped the page.
I skipped a letter.
I'll just go.
Out on April 8th, we've got Before Your Eyes on PC.
Wow.
Okay.
It's a game about magic.
Gone Before Your Eyes. Cozy Grove coming to basically everything. PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. April 8th.
Not Switch
And
though.
then
So fam.
not Switch, yeah. Then the final game for the week, Say No More, coming to PC, Switch, and iOS on April 9th.
So
For
no
some
more,
reason,
fam. I feel like we've
Say
spoken
No
about this
More.
game before. Am I imagining? Wait.
It says it. I'm going to Google it because
Google
it sounds familiar.
I have
Say
a
No More.
vague memory. I swear to God, we've said this on the podcast before, and we even joked about the name, like Say No More. It's fun. I feel like it's a re-release or it's coming to new platforms. I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining.
Okay,
Say
so
No
it's
More.
actually Say No exclamation mark and then more.
No.
So
Well then,
a one
different
button game. In a world where the word no has been virtually banished, you start an internship in a company run by arrogant people. Everyone is convinced that the value of a person is defined only by their professional experience. And of course, you only get these through regular yes sayings.
Oh
Interesting.
my God. Okay then. Cool.
Interesting. Looks strange, but I'm kind of into it.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's your games for the week.
Let's.
Super stoked for Soulstorm. Hey.
Heyo. Okay. Let me
Heyo.
just get a little timestamp here. Are we going to talk about
news? Well, since we were talking about Soulstorm, should we just start off with PS Plus games for April? So, as we alluded to, PS Plus games for April come out on April 6th, which will be Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And it includes 2 PS4 games and 1 PS5, so I was correct. So Oddworld Soulstorm is only free on PS5. Even though the game is coming out to PS4, you will not be able to claim it on PS4.
You can claim it though and play it on your PS5 when you get it, I think.
Can you claim PS5 games off PS4? I don't think you can.
No, but surely you can do it through the browser.
I'm not certain, so I'm not going to say for sure. It sounds like something.
I'll ask my brother to check because he's PS Plus and he doesn't have a PS5.
Okay. Yeah, get him to check because then I would recommend doing that, I guess.
Yeah.
Then on PS4, we've got Days Gone, which a lot of people like. I don't like. You didn't really like it.
It was okay.
At least it'll be patched now, so it won't run like absolute garbage in spots.
Look, I would be curious to revisit it purely from the fact that like it ran fine on PS4, right? But I'd like to see what it runs on a PS5 with those big hordes chasing you. Like I imagine it must be quite a different experience, somewhat. Maybe not.
I do like that Darren in the was it Darren? Yeah, Darren in the article says Days Gone is an underrated sandbox of terror, and then links to my review, which is a 5 out of 10. So I'm not sure about that one so much.
Amazing.
Oh no, wait, I gave it 6.5 out of 10. I thought I gave it 5. I should have given it 5.
You gave it 5, and Darren's like, nah, fam.
Nah,
we're gonna pump those numbers. Or was it Jeff? Was this in Jeff's day?
Oh,
Days Gone,
yeah.
Look, I think I can see why people enjoy it, but I found it very, very, very lukewarm and stretched out.
Yeah, I find it incredibly stretched out. I find
like
it incredibly
when the game
boring.
should have ended, it added like another 15, 20 hours. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
It should have been half as long, and no, it was just too much. Too much and not enough like meat on it. I don't know. A lot of people like it. I found it surprising that it was as divisive as it was, because I really thought it was, especially coming from Sony. You know, we've had fantastic games from them, and that was very clearly below the bar they had set for themselves. So, yeah, I just find it odd that there's this like resurgence of people going, "It's great."
Like, have you played the game? Yes.
Yeah.
Think about it. You're getting it for free on PS4.
Yeah, it's out on PS4. I mean, if you have a PS5 and you've got PS Plus, it's already part of that the PlayStation or the PS Plus collection. So you've already had access to it. So yeah, not winning on that front if you're on PS5. The other game out is Zombie Army 4 Dead War. Now, I'm not super familiar with the series.
But there are 4 of them.
Is Zombie... yeah, apparently. Is Zombie Army sort of like Left 4 Dead, I assume?
I have no idea. Let's
see.
Zombie
Let's see.
Army.
Okay, so we've got a review from Darren.
Nice.
Da, 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 da.
Let's see.
Okay.
But first, I need to get rid of. I need to get a YouTube Premium so I can stop getting these ads.
It's a sequel which pinches influence and inspiration from not only developer Rebellion's past, but has fine-tuned those mechanics into a lean, mean Nazi zombie killing machine.
Okay.
I'm trying to find out what the game is like, though.
I just want to live.
Much like Sniper Elite, players are able to pick the dead off from a distance and briefly slow down time to line up perfect headshots, while more up-close and personal business can be settled with melee attacks, shotguns, pistols, and other assorted special weapons hidden around levels. Rack up a decent combo, and you're able to make use of special attacks to further thin the zombie army, augmenting your weapons with upgrade kits that bestow bonuses to their firepower.
Is this made by the same people that made Sniper Elite?
I think so.
Because it looks very similar, yeah. And is it set during World War II?
Well,
it's
like Nazi zombies. So
okay, so I'm guessing, yeah. Okay. Well, that's your free game for...
Yeah.
Well, one of your free games for...
As a free game, I will definitely try that. Looks like fun. There is a picture in this review of a zombie shark. So I'm into it.
Nice.
So that's PS Plus.
So just I don't know if we stressed enough. Oddworld Soulstorm is as you know, in game releases, it's coming out on 6th of April, and
that's the second month in a row they've released a new game on PS Plus.
PS Plus, yes, that's quite a big deal, I think.
Yeah, because I think this month was Maquette, and actually the month prior, February, it was Destruction All Stars. Yeah, so PlayStation on a roll with new releases. I mean, if they can't compete with Game Pass, that's one way to kind of bridge the gap. Because
it's like a middle ground.
Yeah, I feel like Microsoft is really focusing on Games Pass as opposed to games with gold. Because
do you want to? Shall we get to games with gold? Let's go.
So games with gold. I mean, at this point, if you subscribe to Xbox Gold and not Games Pass, I'm like really confused. At like what you're doing. But if you are, these are the 4 games that you're getting this month. You're getting Vikings, Wolves of Midgar. Okay. Mm-hmm. You're getting Truck Racing Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then on the Xbox 360 side, backwards compatibility, of course, you've got Dark Void.
Mm-hmm.
And Hard Corps Uprising. So
nice.
Nothing really gangbusters there, I would say.
No, it's funny though, because it's almost like, so obviously Ultimate encapsulates like everything from Xbox Live Gold to Xbox Game Pass. It's like, are they making games with gold intentionally that bad to encourage people to move over? Like, I don't know. It's like a very subpar offering compared to what PS offered. And last month wasn't any better.
No, not at all. Yeah. And I mean, when you compare it with like, Game Pass got Outriders on day one. Like, why are you not subscribed to Game Pass? Like,
it's a weird thing, because it's like the Xbox equivalent of what Sony did with Soulstorm is like, your games with gold this month includes Outriders. Like that would be the equivalent, but it's on Game Pass, which is still obviously a big deal. But I don't know, it feels like games with gold is like a thing that just exists now, but it's definitely not the focus. Well, which with good reason, I suppose. I mean, Game Pass is where all the money's going to. All the games with gold budget went to Outriders. We're being honest.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely used all of their Game Pass money on that. All their gold money. Yeah. On that, so
Mula. What news do you want to get to?
Let's maybe, since we were talking about Monster Hunter, we can just quickly touch on the fact that its first week from a sales perspective has been really good.
There's a lot,
Capcom revealed that it managed to ship, which doesn't necessarily mean sold through, but shipped 4 million copies in a single week. I think the biggest point here is that Monster Hunter World shipped 5 million within the same period, but that released on 2 consoles, not 1.
Yeah.
So Rise, I mean, predictably doing very well. I mean, it's come out for arguably one of the most popular consoles in the world at the moment, and it's like a franchise that found its footing on a portable platform back in the day with
and it reviewed well,
PSP.
and it's real good.
Yeah.
So
So,
that number's going to climb,
yeah.
I imagine, by a couple mil as the year goes on.
I think it's going to be a big one for this year.
Yeah.
This is going to hit hard. So, yeah.
Cool.
Which one do you want to go for?
Shall we cover E3, I guess? Why
Yeah.
not? Some scandal from last night or yesterday.
So, yeah, last night, who was it? Andy Robinson, who is the editor-in-chief of Video Games Chronicle. He tweeted out a scoop saying that they had seen documents that were sent to publishers as part of E3's planning, and as part of that, there was a proposal from the ESA, who runs E3, for portions of the now confirmed to be all digital event to be behind a paywall. Which seems like the dumbest idea. Like,
it's just crazy.
Ever. Like,
really
according to the
crazy.
report, there was going to be a $35 premium pass, which the ESA was trying to work with NVIDIA to make game demos available for streaming. So that would give you access to that.
All of that.
You just think about. I just think about the previous reports that were saying that the ESA wanted like 6-figure sums for publishers to show their games as part of this digital conference, a digital conference that they've never run before. So it's a completely new idea for them. Now they want, these companies to come up with demos that now need to be compatible with streaming, and then the ESA is going to charge people for the privilege to play that. Like, come on, E3 is struggling as it is. Like, this is a real fucking swing in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, I mean, we've beaten this dead horse a lot. So it's a thing of like, why would you come to E3 if you're an Xbox or Square Enix or Sony when you're big enough to just do your own YouTube live stream and it'll get just as much attention as you would at E3, probably more than you would get at E3, because E3 the headlines are split between whatever's big on that moment, whatever. I don't know. It's a weird thing, and I don't know how it's gonna play out. It's like, I think the trend was that we've seen E3's been in sort of a decline over the past few years, regardless. And with COVID now, it's like, I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I get the digital showcase, but I don't know how many people will pay that premium to be there. Like, even just to have your have a virtual stand, however they're going to do it.
Yeah. Now, I really don't know, because they seem to not even know how to run, a physical event that they'd been running for decades prior.
My God.
So, yeah. So, essentially, the report came out, and then the E3 Twitter account got real spicy, which is really funny considering... the ESA getting spicy at journalists when 2 years ago they doxed journalists, like, seems like a real fucking crappy thing to do. But anyway, they said, their tweet reads, E3's 2021 digital show is a free event for all attendees. We're excited to fill you in on all the real news for the event very soon. Which obviously, it like forced a response from VGC saying, look at the fucking evidence we have. Like, this was definitely pitched. Whether you decided against it or not,
it's still there,
a different story.
So
it seems like the paywall idea is not going forward, but as part of the report, a lot of publishers that spoke to Video Games Chronicle were basically saying that they are planning to support the event because they think the ESA is important, but that they were keeping big reveals for their own personal events that they would run. And obviously at this point, why the fuck wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, why would you trust the ESA for your big reveals when you can just make sure you can do it yourself? So this, honestly, this could be the last E3. It pains me because I loved attending it in person. But I definitely think they got off lightly last year. The pandemic was like a perfect storm for them.
Yeah.
And this year is like an all or nothing. So
good Lord.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Jeff Keighley had a good time saying that Summer Games Fest was free, which was quite funny.
Jeff Keighley. Okay, what do you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about Japan's bad opinions on Final Fantasy.
Wow. I mean, I am just as shocked as you are. So, according to Japan, Final Fantasy X is the best game in the series, which I
Yeah.
find. So, look, I've played 10, great game, definitely one of the better Final Fantasies. I'd rank it up there, like as one of the best in Final Fantasy. But I find it interesting that it won out over like 7 and 9 and all these other ones that are, in my head at least, very iconic. But I guess it just goes to show that um, Final Fantasy is perceived differently in Japan, which makes sense because like the reason for me and others, well, the reason Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and 9 are so beloved by people like us is like that was just our first time playing those games. And obviously in Japan, because it's a Japanese franchise or the Japanese series, it's obviously just been there since day one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I find it interesting, regardless, though, that 10 is I mean, so we've got the list here, right? Final Fantasy 10 is first, Final Fantasy 7 is second, Final Fantasy 6 is third, which I'm very happy to see.
Yeah, I know that's like considered one of your favorites.
Yeah.
Between that and 9, eh?
And yeah, 9 is number 4. So yeah, I can't believe that Final Fantasy 5, which I think is arguably one of the weaker ones, is 6, higher than number 4, which I think is way better.
I can't believe 15 is only 10th.
It's 10th. See, it's interesting because 15's I enjoyed 15, but it was a different kind of Final Fantasy game.
Very different. I'm not surprised it's not in the top 5 or whatever, but well, then again, it's actually made the list as opposed to like 13, which isn't there at all.
Yeah, so. I think it's funny that it's below 11, which I'm like, was 11 successful? Like it must have been, I guess, maybe in Japan. Yeah. Like I don't know.
I mean, it's a crime that 8 is here because 8 is just terrible. So.
How did 8 get to number 7? Is all I want to say.
How did 8 end up on the list at all?
How did 8 get higher than 4? I don't believe it.
Then there's also a list of popular characters, which is basically just dominated by Final Fantasy 7 characters.
Yeah.
But there's a real crime happening here.
Oh no, what's the crime?
So
wow.
First is Cloud, second Yuna, third Eris or Aerith.
Why is Tifa so low? I can't believe that.
Yeah, fourth is Vivi. 5 is Zidane, who's from 10, correct?
Vivi and Zidane are from 9.
Oh, they're from 9, okay. Yeah. 6 is Solosos.
I have no idea who that is from.
7 is Tidus. That's from 10.
That's from 10, yeah.
So the highest ranked Final Fantasy game, the only character on the list from there is 7. Okay.
Yeah.
8 is Lightning for a game that wasn't even listed in the top 10. 9 is Tifa. 10 is Zack, which also wasn't listed in the top 10. How the fuck is Cloud more popular than Zack? Please tell me.
Why is Cloud number 1? Like I think.
Why is Cloud on this list?
I'm actually supposed. Is it a list of the favorite protagonists? I was going to say because surely like Sephiroth and others would be up here.
Fucking garbage. Zack is so infinitely better than Cloud. Like
he's a good character.
Right up and say it. The only reason Cloud has some semblance of a personality in 7 is because of Zack.
It's because Zack existed. Yeah. And that's a fact. You can fact check that even.
I'm gonna move away from this news before I get more angry. Next, so we can talk about this rumor regarding Alan Wake 2.
Yes.
So this comes via way of GamesBeat's Jeff Grubb, which, if we're going to be honest, has been a bit hit or miss with his inside scoops lately. So yeah, take this with a pinch of salt, but know that a few years ago, Remedy Games was working on an Alan Wake 2, which eventually got scrapped as they moved over to Control. And as we all know, Control essentially exists within the same universe as Alan Wake. I mean, its final DLC directly ties it to Alan Wake.
I still got to play that DLC.
Yeah, I need to play it as well. But on Jeff Grubb's Game Mess podcast, he says that Grubb claims that Remedy has begun work on Alan Wake 2 and that it'll be the follow-up fans of the series want. It's also being developed with Epic Games, so might be a PC exclusive at launch.
Interesting. Alan Wake was a game I played years after its initial release, and I loved the heck out of that game. It was real good.
I fucking love Alan Wake. Yeah, I I mean, that was the game that really. I mean, I played Max Payne and enjoyed it enough, but Alan Wake was like the Remedy game in my head. Like, I love that game a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And yeah,
very keen.
I'd be
for
interested
that.
to see what it looks like after something like Control.
Yeah, because
know,
I mean, if you take Control's combats and Alan Wake's, they two very different beasts. In terms of pacing and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like almost combat was the secondary form of gameplay in Alan Wake. It wasn't really the
it
focus.
was more about getting around, piecing together stuff.
I will never forget how like on a thread that ending felt for me. Like, still, just
I need to
like
go
it's
reread what happened, because I can't for the life of me remember, but I remember it was like, damn.
Yeah, it was like, wait, hold on, is that
Hang
it?
on.
Like, surely there's
going
more. Yeah.
Analog Pocket shipments being delayed. I don't know if you've shown interest in this device, but it's basically like a modern day Game Boy, as far as I know. But I know
that will play original Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Sega Game Gear games.
Yeah, it's a really nice looking device. If you had your eyes on one of these, it has just been delayed to October.
It's also sold out, so there's no way you can buy one anyway. So yeah, I mean, Analog has been doing for a while now a lot of products that do very good emulations of. Well, it's actually not emulation; it's running the original games. So
yeah,
I mean, this thing was in high demand. It basically sold out as soon as it went on sale.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's been delayed apparently because of the Suez Canal issue. So yeah,
which I think that little boat parked in the canal is going to have some real long-term ramifications, which we're only going to really see in the months to come.
Oh yeah.
So we all laughed at the meme.
Havoc.
It was hilarious, for the memes, but it's kind of shit on the effect it's going to have on a lot of things. Like, I think, who's that chatting? I think it was yesterday. My boss was saying that petrol's going up by like a huge amount next month, by like R1 plus. And that is a direct result of the whole canal incident.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it was like millions and millions of dollars lost every single hour just because of that blockage. Yeah,
hectic.
But the memes are good.
The memes are so good.
The memes are good.
What else?
Sony is definitely closing down its PS3, PSP, and PS Vita stores, as was earlier reported by The Gamer. There was a lot of scrutiny on their reporting, but they got it spot on.
All right. Yeah, so I think we touched on this last week, but at the time it was like, the rumor or the report, whatever, but it's now confirmed. But I suppose like Darren says, your purchased games remain safe. So you'll still be able to download.
So for now, any purchases you've made, you'll still be able to download them. But I'm just looking for the dates here. I think it's August. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the PS3 and PSP stores will go offline July 2nd, and the PS Vita will follow on August 27th. So make sure you've got all your purchases and stuff done by then. I assume updates will still be a thing. If you can download the game, I'm sure games will still update. But yeah, I mean, this is just one step closer to the to downloads not being available eventually. Like,
yeah, it's a problem.
This will happen.
I have all three, and it's like, do I crack open my PS3 now and like download a bunch of stuff that I just want to keep on there? Do I rush out and grab a couple of memory cards for my Vita just to store some games that I might play one day?
God, you know how expensive those are going to get because they're proprietary.
Yeah.
So like, if you want to grab a 64 gig Vita, I mean, 3 years ago, my Vita memory card died and it took me ages to source a replacement. And even then I paid a lot of money just for a 8 gigabyte replacement.
Yeah. I did need to download Persona 4.
Yeah. I should get your PSV back to you then, because I still have it with a good process called UMD in there.
But that's the UMD. It's fine.
Physical games, they'll persist. Yeah. But yeah, this kind of sucks. Like, I get it from a business sense. Maybe Sony's just not seeing any revenue from this and they could not be asked about the preservation of it. But it is interesting seeing that it's become such a talking point, especially this week where, Nintendo forcibly removed a game from sale and PlayStation is shutting down old stores, whereas Xbox announced backwards compatibility coming to its cloud-based streaming platform. So it's like,
This is just crazy.
Everything is driven by revenue. I don't think Microsoft has an altruistic motive to preserve games, but at the same time, they are doing it. They are actively looking for ways to continue letting you play original Xbox games on its most current hardware, while PlayStation and Nintendo are doing the opposite.
Just having a good old YOLO.
Whether or not Microsoft is, the motives don't really matter. The point is it's being done. So, yeah. It's just interesting that has become like a big talking point. I would have never have guessed that a few years ago.
Who knew?
Who knew? I think that's it.
What shall we talk about quickly? Stalker 2 has custom teeth.
Yeah, they didn't really show much of the game at the indie showcase last week, but they showed off some tech that they are using in their engine that has allowed them to render like highly realistic teeth, which looks kind of creepy, but also kind of cool as well. I'm keen to play Stalker 2. I never got into the original because, again, at the time, I just don't think my gaming brain was in that space because it's very RPG-ish shooter type thing. But I'm keen to see what a new one is like, especially after I've played games like Metro, which I really love.
Especially with teeth like this, am I right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, yeah.
And then last bit of news, No Man's Sky adds seasonal expeditions in a surprise update.
Yeah, this game keeps going from strength to strength.
My goodness,
Expeditions, I was reading up on it a bit yesterday. It's basically, it's a new game mode. So you start a new adventure with it, and it's like these seasonal missions that they will continually add to and change that you and other players can collectively work towards for unique rewards based on each season. But the fact that it's a separate game mode, it's like if you want a more structured No Man's Sky experience, this seems like
this is what you should play.
Yeah, very, very cool. And free as well. So
completely free. And that is game
That is
news.
That is game news for this fine week. I know you only put a questions thing.
Yesterday was
Instagram.
a long day. Okay,
it was.
I only put a look. As people know, you don't have to wait for me to put out the question.
That's
so
also
you
true.
can always just email,
if you want to send us questions at any point, at any time of the week, you can email us checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media channels at Checkpoint Chat on Twitter, on Facebook, hey, we got it on TikTok now. We
Huzzah.
managed to get it back, so it's at Checkpoint Chat on TikTok or Checkpoint Chat Podcast. You can send it to both. Don't really give a shit.
Yellow.
So yeah, what was there anything?
We had a single question when I first saw this morning from Bester Bash. Who says, "What is your favorite weapon and favorite monster so far in Monster Hunter Rise?"
That's hard because I keep bouncing between a lot of different weapons.
Yeah, I can tell you
I'll let you go first.
I can tell you what my top 3 are at the moment. So
okay.
I don't know if I told this story on the last week, but the reason I'm so in love with the longsword is because I played many hours of Monster Hunter before I realized that I can just swap out weapons. so
you were stuck with that longsword for a very long time.
So that is the starting weapon, and it is a thing of like, I know the other weapons, but I'm learning this, and it just clicked for me. Like the more I played, and what is kind of cool is that a lot of the stuff I figured out wasn't me looking up a guide or anything online. It is me playing, going, oh, there's a bar there. Oh, it fills up. Oh, okay, when that bar's full, I can do this. But then you asked me last night, like, hey, your sword's a different color. What does that mean?
Yeah, it kept changing from like no color to red to yellow.
I'm like, I don't know what the colors do, but I know how. So Adian, a friend of mine who's like a big Monster Hunter expert, has explained that it's something along the lines of like your sword has different states and you want to work your way up them. I don't know if it's because you do more damage, I presume, or you have higher crit chance. Like I'll have to read into that, but I really like the longsword because I've just it's been with me the longest, and I now understand how the thing works. It's a good
Longing
time.
for that longsword. Am I right?
But then other than that, so the longsword is definitely I'd call it a middle ground. Like it's not heavy like a hammer, but it's not
I
quick
will,
like the.
I will say the little sheath and attack thing
It's the
that you showed me
most
last night with it is pretty fucking great.
most anime weapon you'll find in Monster
So
Hunter,
good.
let's be
Yeah.
honest. But it's a middle ground. It's not quite I think it's classified as a heavy weapon, but it's not
Mm.
really a heavy weapon. It's like
Yeah, you,
it's
you can still move
yeah, you're
relatively
faster than
okay-ish with it.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
faster than you would be with the hammer, but you're slower than you would be with the sword and shield.
Holy fuck, you're so slow with a
Uh
hammer. Like, I get that
yeah.
it's like a good weapon for beginners, but you're so slow with it.
Yeah. But I mean, other than the longsword, sword and shields, I
Mm.
think between the sword and shield and the dual blades, both of which I'm really enjoying, those two specifically, I think, are great starter weapons just because
Yeah.
they let you be mobile. They don't necessarily dish out as much damage as others, but you can move a lot quicker, get around faster, and they're both very fun to play with.
Yeah, it
I
can
was
be a bit disheartening coming to them if you've started with a big weapon because you're like, wow, my damage
my
numbers are so
damage
small
numbers.
now.
You say that, but then yesterday I made an effort to play with the dual blades, and I was really bouncing between that whole, the demon mode and that thing. And when you fill up your bar, you attack so quickly, and your damage numbers are super high.
Yeah,
Well, as
you
high as you
crit
can be.
so quickly. But
Exactly.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like you're trading overall damage for just damage per second, essentially, which is
Mm,
much higher.
yeah.
So it's a balance of one or
So
two.
those are my three.
The one I've used the most has to be Sword and Shield as well. Like
Mm,
I really like the ability to defend when I want. I like the combos on the Sword and Shield. Like my favorite is doing that attack and then you do that little hop back. And if you
mm,
time it right, you hop back forward and you do like a perfect rush. It just feels really good.
mm.
And yesterday I found that you can actually launch yourself into the air if you continue with that. So that's
Nice.
fun. I also started with the dual blades as well. I like them; they're okay, but I feel like of all the weapons I've tried, they have the least depth. But then again, I
Yeah.
should probably play a bit more with it because when you're talking about the demon
Mm.
mode, I'm like, okay, I never really engaged with that a lot. So
There's a move you can do with them, which I've seen in videos. You can basically like rip down the spine of a monster, and I have no idea how to pull it off. I need to show you.
I'm fucking
It's
down for
wild.
that. Okay,
You like
I
literally
need to do that.
roll along like the tail, for example, and you do damage on the way down. I have no idea how to trigger it, but it's a thing.
Okay, guess I'm playing with dual blades today.
Hmm.
The other weapon that I've kind of enjoyed playing with mostly in solo though is the lance.
Mm.
It is the most ridiculous looking weapon on your hunter because it just looks like you're carrying around a tree. Um, it's so
Of course
stupid,
you are.
but man, you can do some crazy damage with that thing. Like it is much slower than the other two weapons I've used, but I like its silkbind attack because the silkbind attacks like give you more mobility, and then you can really
Mm.
start getting intense with that thing. So
Nice.
yeah, it's lots of. I'm just enjoying bouncing between weapons. I
Mm.
mean, there's some that I'm not even trying because like the insect glaive is so complicated.
It's too technical, man.
Yeah, and I know Best Bash loves the charge blade, but I find that thing fucking incomprehensible. Like I don't know what's going on.
My
Um,
goodness.
so yeah.
John, your favorite monster? Do you have any?
Oh, well, I haven't played nearly as many as you, but I really like the frog one we fought yesterday, the
The one that ate
Tetranodon,
you.
the one that kept swallowing me and eating me.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
It's a good
that one
time.
was cool. That I quite like that fight a lot. That and Izuchi is Izuchi the
I know
raptor
I
with the
missed
like
that. You broke up. Is it?
the Izuchi I think it's called
I
one with
wonder.
like the claw on its tail.
I'm so bad with names, but there's one that I fought a lot. Is it the Rathios? Which is like.
No, we haven't fought the Rathios a lot.
No, I didn't fight with you. I think you had gone to bed. I did it after. It's a dragon. It was one of the demo.
Rathalos?
Rathios. Let me see. Rathios Monster Hunter. I'm bad with the names, but I consider it was one of the. It is one of the monsters you fought in the demo, and it's funny because I thought it's a Rathalos. I think.
Yeah,
That's what it
Rathlos.
is.
That's a
That's it,
big
yeah.
like.
Yeah,
It's
like
a
an
marquee
iconic.
monster for the
Yeah.
for the series. Yeah.
I fought it in the demo, and it's the worst because it's got this spin attack which poisons you if it hits you. And I played the demo, and I could not beat this thing. Now I understand the game, having actually like learned the game, and I'm like, this is a good boss. A lot of fun.
The poison in the game is so hectic because it cuts you down
Mm.
so quickly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't disappear. It just continues killing you. It's, yeah.
It's a good time, man. But yeah, that's.
Yeah, Rathlos is a big one. I mean, that's the one, even before I started playing Monster Hunter, I'd always hear people talk about it. That and Diablos?
I think Diablos.
That's
Yeah,
the
I've also
one,
heard of Diablos.
I think Rathlos and Diablos are the ones in the movie as well, the terrible movie.
Nice.
Can watch Mila Djokovic shoot a Rathlos.
I want to watch the movie just for the fact that I've played a game now, and I know it's got nothing to do with the game, really. But I can be like,
I just want to see the Palico in the movie, really.
Like, what is this?
Mm.
But yeah, that's all the questions
I mean, if
we have.
Mila Djokovic doesn't cook a turkey leg the size of her torso, what is a Monster Hunter movie?
What is if she doesn't shout, "I hope you have insurance" when she murders the monster, then I know it's not a true to game movie. Okay.
I have a real problem with the fact that Monster Hunter considers well done steak as the perfect cook as opposed to rare. Like,
I know
when you
hurts.
cook a rare steak, it's like, oh. And when you cook well done, it's like perfect. It's like bullshit.
No.
Since when
like
is a well done
rare,
steak perfect?
It's funny because I was doing rare. I was like, oh yeah, rare steak. And then it's like, no, you read the description, it's like replenishes some stamina. It's like,
yeah. And well done, it's like,
it's
man,
like,
the perfect meal.
You're like,
I'd rather
hang
have
on.
it fucking burnt.
I need to just hack my game that I swap them around. It's like, this is the way it
exactly.
should be.
Some bullshit.
But yeah, that is all the questions we have. I don't think we have anything on email.
I didn't see anything in email.
Nope, I got nothing. Yeah, that's it. That's it, I guess.
Well, if I know this episode's recording early, so maybe it threw people off. But again, you can send questions at any time, and if you want to, checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com or at checkpointchat on all our social channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, DMs are open, TikTok.
All of the places. Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's it.
This has been episode 139 of Checkpoint Chat. If you're listening to this, I hope you had a fantastic long weekend. Now that it's over, very sorry. But April's full of them. So yeah, hope it was restful. I know I'm excited to get my rest on this weekend. So
likewise.
Happy that we were able to record early this week.
We can go relax now.
I really like your shirt. What does it say? Keep calm and eat pizza. Oh, fantastic. That is the most perfect shirt for you.
Some turtles.
Love it. It's weird though that it has all the turtles on there because isn't it just... Oh no, wait, they all love pizza. But Michelangelo is the one that really loves pizza.
He loves them, yeah. Let me just come out and tell Malesh that next week is hoodies. I think I'm out of nice, cool gaming shirts I can wear.
You have to wear a repeat shirt. How dare you?
My God.
I don't know what the fuck is going on with my lamp. I'm just getting more
I was just going to say, what happened?
I don't know. It's just changing color by itself. I don't know what's going on.
Hilarious. This is where we end the episode.
I'm just getting, the sun is coming.
I was like, whoa, the sun like rose real quick.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. It's my lamp. I'm like watching it color shift in front of my eyes. I don't know what's going on. Okay.
I better handle that before it explodes.
Yeah, this is the future Watch Dogs warned us about.
Oh my God, you got hacked.
Shawnee's busy playing with my lights in the other room, like a slider on the smartphone.
Because isn't it an app on your smartphone?
Yeah, it is. Like
hilarious. She didn't tell you she's got the app on her phone. Next door, she's just giggling.
Yeah, she's turning it on and off, putting the color temperature warm, low, high. God,
amazing.
This has been episode 139 of Checkpoint Chat. As always, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Love you long time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.